Sometimes the moment that changes your life doesn't come loud or dramatic. It comes quietly like falling snow, revealing truths you have been avoiding your whole life. Welcome to today's narration. This is The Dead by James Joyce, a story about memory, love, pride, and the unexpected awakening of a man who thought he understood himself. Let's begin. James Joyce, The Dead, is the final and most famous story from Dubliners. It takes place on a cold winter night in Dublin at the annual Christmas party hosted by the Morkan sisters, a gathering filled with music, dancing, food, gossip, and warm Irish hospitality. And at the center of the night stands Gabriel Conroy, a polite, educated man who believes he has everything in order: a good job, a respected family name, social confidence, and a sense of superiority that he hides behind charm. But tonight, all of that will be shaken because one memory, one song, one long buried emotion will open a door inside him that he never knew existed. Part 1: The Party, a World Full of Life. The story begins with people arriving at the Morgan sisters' home. Their annual party is a tradition, a ritual of Irish warmth. Laughter fills the hall, the piano is being tuned, guests greet each other with excitement, and the night is just beginning. Gabriel and his wife Greta arrive. He worries about his speech, he worries about the right words, he even overthinks what shoes his aunts are wearing. Everything to Gabriel feels like a moment to judge or to be judged. And this is important because Joyce gently shows us Gabriel's insecurity long before the big moment arrives. At the dinner table, Gabriel gives his speech. It is polished, elegant, filled with nostalgia and kindness. Everyone applauds. For a few minutes, Gabriel feels proud, admired, and confident. He believes he understands life, he believes he understands love, he believes he understands himself, but he doesn't, at least not yet. Part 2: The Song That Changes Everything. The party ends, guests leave one by one, snow begins to fall outside, silently covering the streets of Dublin. Gabriel and Greta walk toward their hotel. Gabriel feels romantic, hopeful. He admires Greta's beauty, the way her hair falls on her shoulders, the way she looks lost in thought. But as they climb the hotel stairs, Gabriel sees something unexpected. Greta is standing still, motionless, listening to a distant melody, the Lass of Aughrim. Her face looks transformed, dreamy, sorrowful, full of emotion he cannot understand. Gabriel feels jealousy, not of another man, but of another version of his wife he has never seen or known before. When they reach the room, Greta begins to cry, and she finally tells him the truth. When she was young, a boy named Michael Fure loved her deeply. He was sickly, fragile, but passionate. And when Greta was leaving for school, Michael, against the cold, against his illness, stood outside her window to see her one last time. Not long after he died, Greta believes he died for her for love. In this moment, Gabriel's world collapses. He realizes something painful. Michael Fure loved Greta with a depth and purity that he, Gabriel, has never reached. His pride, his educated charm, his careful manners look small compared to Michael's raw, honest love. Gabriel is humbled, shocked, awakened. For the first time, he sees himself clearly. Part 3: The Meaning of the Snow. Gabriel walks to the window and looks outside. Snow is falling softly, endlessly, covering all of Ireland. And here comes the most famous moment in the entire story. Gabriel imagines the snow falling over the living and the dead, falling on the hotel room window, falling across the countryside, falling over the grave of Michael Fure. It becomes a symbol, a quiet connection between all people, all souls, all memories. No matter how far apart they are, the snow unites everything. In this moment, Gabriel is reborn, spiritually, emotionally. He understands that being alive is not just about pride or intellect, but about feeling, vulnerability, and the humility to know your limitations. He realizes he has been living safely, not fully. He has been comfortable, not courageous. He has admired love but never reached its depths. And as the snow continues to fall, Gabriel begins to change. Part 4, Deeper Explanation and Themes. Now, children, let's break down the deeper meaning of Joyce's story, the part that makes the dead a masterpiece. First one, Epiphany, which means awakening. Joyce believed that life changing realizations come quietly. Gabriel's awakening is not dramatic, it is gentle, painful, and deeply human. Second, pride versus genuine emotion. Gabriel is Gabriel is controlled, polite. Life is confronted by the sincerity of Michael Furey's love. This contrast shows Joyce's belief real emotion matters more than social image. Third, the living and the dead. The title doesn't just refer to Michael Furey. Joyce suggests that some people are dead emotionally, moving through routine, not feeling deeply. Gabriel realizes he has been one of them. 4. Snow as a symbol. Snow covers everything equally: the poor, the rich, the proud, the humble, the living, and the dead. It reminds us that all human beings share the same fate and strangely the same beauty. By the end of the story, Gabriel is not destroyed. He is softened. He sees his wife with new understanding. He sees himself with new humility. He sees life with new clarity. And he understands that love is more than confidence, intelligence, or perfect words. Love is vulnerability. Love is sacrifice. Love is the courage to feel deeply even if it breaks you. The dead ends not with despair but with awakening. A quiet promise there is still time to live more honestly, to love more deeply, to feel more fully. If this narration helped you understand Joyce's masterpiece, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. And tell me in the comments what kind of literary analysis or author should we explore next. Thank you for watching, children. Happy learning.